Sign up today to catch all the major cropover events live online on cropover.cbc.bb. We've got you covered. Soca Monarch Finals, $53 or $26 US. Pick of the Crop Finals, $62 or $30 US. And Grand Kadooment, $22 Barbados dollars or $11 US. Don't be left out. Log on now to cropover.cbc.bb and book. CBC, taking cropover to the world.
A very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord, and in our news, a heated town hall meeting over tourism development in the Worthing area. Support for the two starting points for Grand Kadooment. The Moravians unable to choose a bishop. And in sports, Aline and Sir Everton Week Centre of Excellence through to the final of the Sir Garfield Sobers cricket competition.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
In our top story, residents and business owners in Worthing and surrounding areas are concerned about the impact planned tourism development could have on their lives. They outlined those views to developers of the Blue Horizon Hotel property during a town hall meeting at the Accra Beach Hotel last night. Our Lisa Broom has more.
There was very little space left to stand in the main conference room at Accra Beach Hotel last night as developers Blue Tourism Inc. outlined what they had planned for the area, which includes work on the beach itself. The very vocal crowd got boisterous at times, saying an emphatic no to any plans that would block off the window to the sea or put any stress on the beleaguered South Coast sewage system.
It is, for the tourism industry, suicidal to dump 32,000 gallons of sewage into a malfunctioning system.
And I think that it is deplorable that a company that I understand that the taxpayers' money is involved here is proposing to privatize part of this beach and close a window to the sea.
Residents of Cott Road are the closest to the planned development. They were represented by attorney Derek Otterson.
The group is almost totally in disagreement with the proposed height. They think it is out of character with the streetscape. 9 stories is not in keeping. The group is proposing a height of 5 stories maximum.
Sir Asad Halut was one of those worried about a possible impact. One of his flagship restaurants, Chefette Rockley, is right next door.
When we did Chefette Fontainebleau years ago, a drive-through, we put hoarding, wood. Half of the sales went down because people don't mix food and dust.
A placard bearing Mighty Gabby said he was willing to take drastic action to prevent any beach development.
If even government gives you permission to build, I, Gabby, would personally go there every day and stop it.
And Barbados' ambassador to CARICOM, David Commichong, said the developers should tell the residents whether an environmental impact assessment had been done.
If that is the case, they need to be very clear what are the studies that they have instructed the developers to carry out, how and when the results of those studies are going to be shared with the public of Barbados.
A representative from the town planning department told the residents the project was not yet a done deal. She said while some technical information had been submitted, their views would also be recorded and taken into consideration when the final report is submitted to the Prime Minister for a decision. Lisa Broom, CBC News.
Well, they asked for 2 routes and they got them. And President of the Barbados Association of Masqueraders, Chetman Stewart, says his members are delighted that their request has been granted. This year, some bands in Grand Kadooment will start in Warrens, while others will start at the National Botanical Gardens in Waterford.
We are happy that the police allowed the option of the stadium and Warrens, because we actually asked for that. Originally, we were coming from Warrens and coming down with the option of going through the Cat Rock or going right down to the roundabout. But then the police said that they wouldn't allow us to go through the Cat Rock. So then we asked for the option of going from Warrens or from the Botanical Gardens. So we're happy that at least they allow that.
Mr. Stewart adds that it has generally been slow for band leaders across the island this year.
Up to the day, I want them calling me, letting me know that things are slow. Things are, all the wrong things are slow. Everybody realizes that. But still, Bajans are very last minute. So hopefully we get some Bajans coming last minute.
Hundreds of Barbadians of all ages flocked to the National Cultural Foundation's headquarters to take advantage of the today-only 3-hour discount on tickets for the Soca Monarch competition. That event, of course, comes off on July 28th at the National Botanical Gardens in Waterford. Tickets were offered at the special price of $20 instead of the regular $50. CEO of the NCF, Carol Roberts-Reefer, is pleased with the turnout.
I think it's been an excellent turnout. It's been a great endorsement for the Soca Monarch finals in the new venue of the Botanical Gardens. You can't beat a $50 ticket going for $20. Our promotion was pay $20 and cover the VAT. So we're really, really pleased. Thanks for all those who came out. A little snafu at first, people a bit too eager to get the tickets, but that was handled very well by the members of the Royal Barbados Police Force, so kudos to them. And then my boys came out to help the NCF.
Local artists are in for some valuable international exposure when the Soca Universe show comes off at the end of this month. The event will feature Bajan acts like Shanta Prince, Hollaback and Marvey, alongside heavyweights Masha Montano and US star Ashanti. Promoter Richard Rollocks of One Sun International says having these international stars on the card will in turn focus the world's attention on Barbados and its music.
One of the unique opportunities we have with this event is that we have so many artists, they go to the radio station, to the studios for the entire year, and they work very, very hard on the music. And the crop of music is sounding fantastic. We want to let the world hear this. When you have international acts, the likes of Ashanti and Marshall Montano, when you align your brands with these individuals, it increases your ability, it increases your space, the awareness of that music, of that genre, and everything else that happens that night. So we said yes, for Barbados, this is definitely a win.
Stansfield Scott is one of the major sponsors who have signed on. Portfolio manager for the Spirits Division, Alistair Straker, says partnering with the organizers was an easy choice.
It is tight for everyone, and you have to be very, very careful where you invest your funds as a marketeer. So in an attempt to balance brand awareness and recognition with partnering with the right promoters that will ensure equally or mutually beneficial relationship, this is one of the reasons that we've decided to work with Soca Universe as well.
And of course, we will have some more crop over action for you later in our Countdown to Kadooment feature. Well, the Barbados Fire Service has responded to fewer fires so far this year when compared to the same period last year. But Chief Fire Officer Errol Maynard is still concerned about negligent practices that are resulting in these fires. He made the comment this afternoon as the Barbados Fire Service officially launched its community outreach program at the Bush Hall Community Centre. The fire chief says what many householders often do not realize is the potential fire dangers in their homes that are very often everyday items they may otherwise take for granted.
If you imagine the elements and the components of a fire carefully, you will discover that the majority of things that can cause a fire are already in your homes and in your communities. That standing fan, the faithful extension cord that you have under the carpet for many, 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 many years, the computer that you leave on the bed charging, or even cooking while you're tired and having a cigarette in bed. These are some of the things and behaviors that can render your environment or your home unsafe.
Mr. Maynard adds that the launch of the outreach program is a response to a risk analysis carried out by the Barbados Fire Service at the community level. Minister of Home Affairs Edmund Hinkson gave the outreach program his ministry's full support.
We have to do the best as we can to ensure that these fire incidents are diminished. As human beings, we do not have the full capacity, however, within ourselves to stop the tragedy from occurring. We must, however, put the necessary measures in place to reduce the likelihood of such tragedies taking place. We can create a level of resilience among our people, a resilience that is needed within our communities as we seek to make ourselves fire smart and disaster ready.
Well, a number of members of the community, including children, came out to be a part of the launch event. In order to give the members of the community a greater appreciation for fire safety, members of the fire service and partner organizations staged demonstrations of some of the services they provide. The minister also took part in a few of the activities, including a demonstration of tree cutting with a chainsaw. Moravians in the East West Indies province will have to wait another 3 years before they find out who will become their next bishop. And that is because the 32nd Synod ended last night without a bishop being selected from among the 25 people put forward for the post. This was after more than 10 rounds of voting that ran up until 11 last night. Meantime, Vice Chair of the Synod, Bishop Conrad Spencer, says the church has not seen very much growth over the years, and this is one of the areas on which they want to focus. He says there are 15,000 members spread over 52 congregations and 2 fellowships, and here in Barbados there were almost 5,000 members up to 2018.
The recent statistics show that there is nominal growth, which means that over the last 4 years we grew very slightly, which means that we're actually looking at improving our growth spurt. And we know within every organization or institution, the growth goes up and down. And we have been here in Barbados since 1765. And so it has gone up and down.
Well, although Child Month was observed back in May, the Childcare Board is still encouraging young people across Barbados to celebrate their achievements. It's all in keeping with their theme for this year, celebrating the champion in you. Part of their efforts involved an art competition based on the theme. The competition was open to children between the ages of 7 and 18. Earlier today, the winners in the various categories were awarded. Childcare Board member Kevon Henry says it gave the participants an opportunity to highlight the positives they can add to society.
The board thought that it was necessary, given the circumstances of how young people are often criticized and, ridiculed in today's environment, that it's important to celebrate the positives that young people do across the country and within their own spaces.
Despite a dip in sponsorship this year, the organizers of the Chefette Fun Run have been able to match last year's figure, raising $135,000. The funds raised were handed over to the Variety Children's Charity, the Precious Touch Foundation, and the Young Women's Christian Association during a check presentation at Chefette's corporate office in Wildy. Managing Director of Chefette Restaurants, Ryan Halut, admits that this year has been a tough one as there were no new sponsors.
The sponsors who we have and all of you here really fill that void. You all stepped up, increased it, whether it was dollars or some sponsors said, okay, I can't do shirts, but I'll just give you money direct. And we were like, we'll take that. That's great, because money direct goes direct to charities. You don't have to buy shirts and print this and print banners and all that stuff. So thank you all, because it was looking tight. As the lead, I tried to keep the game face on and to keep that positive energy out there and saying, please help me, Auntie Olga, because things looking brown. It's looking tight, but she came through. You all came through, and thank you all. It was really amazing.
An executive director of Variety, the children's charity, Donna Russell, says they intend to stay true to a pledge to continue the legacy of the late Auntie Olga. Come November, that charity will be celebrating its 25th anniversary.
We will need public support. We are grateful to Chefette for taking over the fun run 7 years ago and just literally running with it. Ryan actually runs. So we ask all of you to just visit our Facebook and our website and become a friend of Variety, because it takes a lot more than the fun run to do what we do. So we encourage you to help us as much as you can, and especially help us celebrate 25 years of giving to Barbadian children.
Regional stories now, and a memorandum of understanding has been inked between the University of the West Indies and the Inter-American Center for Social Security Studies, all in an effort to improve wellness in workplaces across the region. As part of this agreement, UWI will be offering courses at all of its existing campuses. We have a report from NCN.
Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences for UWI's Cave Hill campus, Justin Robinson, says the program targets employers and workers.
How do employers and employees have the skills and competencies to manage all these different pressures on workers in the workplace so that wellness is maintained and by extension productivity and the sustainability of these schemes?
Robinson revealed that there are also programs available to encourage persons to get back into the workforce after an illness or injury.
One of the major challenges to NIS schemes is that you can have persons who are relatively young who sustain an injury or some illness and they are leaving the workforce at a very young age. So I think a person who was paid in contributions for say 10 years and then because of illness then they collect contributions for 40 years. So that's not a financially sustainable situation. So if we can have programs and schemes where those persons can get back into the workforce after an illness or an injury so they can then come back in and work and contribute.
The initiative was birthed during a meeting of the Inter-American Conference on Social Security, CISS, last year.
Dozens of farmers and fisherfolk in Dominica have benefited from assistance through a special loan facility. The beneficiaries took advantage of the funds to improve their livelihood, as we hear from Marpin TV.
The loan facility was established in 2016 with Citizenship by Investment CBI program funds. In the past financial year, over 200 farmers and fisherfolk have utilized the funds from the facility to improve their operations.
As of June 30th, 2018, a total of 213 farmers and fishermen with an investment value of $4.1 million benefited from the government of Dominica's CBI funding. 54% of the investment amount went towards farm development, while 24% went towards poultry enterprises and 15% towards fishing. The major proportion of this investment, or 32%, was made in the southeast region of Casibruce to Delis, while 22% was made in the northeast region of Calibishi to Marigot.
The loan program had to be restructured following Hurricane Maria so that stakeholders could continue to utilize the facility.
Following Hurricane Maria, the government of Dominica modified the CBI loan facilities with more attractive terms in an effort to meet the needs of the target groups. The interest rates within the targeted groups or sectors was reduced to 2%.
In 2016, a loan facility from CBI funds was also established for the development of the tourism industry.
Trinidad and Tobago's opposition leader has been accused by the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, of twisting the facts of the Emailgate investigation. He says the file handed over to the police service by the Director of Public Prosecution shows evidence exists in the matter, but not enough to lay charges. CNC3 TV reports.
It means that you get away, but you wasn't charged. It doesn't mean that nothing happened.
Here's why, according to the Prime Minister. He says the DPP's file clearly states that the evidence gathered during the investigation did not reach the threshold to lay charges against persons involved. Notably, he adds, evidence exists.
There was sufficient substance to the allegations or the request for an inquiry to cause the U.S. courts to grant the warrant to search at Google and at Microsoft.
On May 20th, 2013, Dr. Keith Rowley, who was the then opposition leader, produced a document in the Parliament purporting to represent emails among then Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissassa and several of her cabinet ministers. These emails appear to have been sent during September 2012. Dr. Rowley says the DPP's files show the time gap made it difficult for investigators to confirm or deny the existence of the emails.
The UNC is saying that they have been vindicated, they have been exonerated. Well, we are saying, once the DPP is saying that it cannot be confirmed or denied, there's no vindication in that.
Dr. Rowley says he's not to be blamed.
When I passed it to the president, who agreed that it warranted an investigation, and he told me that he passed it to the Integrity Commission, I simply let the system work.
We start tonight with some action from Alara Court, the location of the first Citizens Fusion.
Fantastic event. This is about the fourth time that I performed at Palm Fusions, and this year was really, really good. It's always good to reminisce to those old songs, you know, and give the people some good memories of days gone by.
This is just wonderful. I've only missed one so far last year for obvious reasons, but I had to come this year because I wanted to see if they were going to take it to a higher level, and they have so far. I like where Pan is going in Barbados,
floor just in front of you,
but I find that
will be filled shortly.
the Pan in Barbados is a seasonal thing. I crop over, and it should be more, more frequent.
She shake the bumper like a minivan. She replay, spikes down my seats and moving. Skate in the card, and you are watching the countdown to Kadooment.
Another big weekend event was Puff of Color. The entertainment package was well received, as well as DJ innovations, including this one with 4 on stage at the same time.
It was fantastic. It was a great experience. Chicken, David, Chris was a perfect combination.
Fantastic, love it. I was trying to perform before getting back, but that was impossible. But I love it. Gym right now.